April 10th, you make the second payment.
Okay, folks, where are we at?
I look forward to the next week to this board coming up with a, what, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million? What are we looking for?
The board,
Mr. CEO?
the executive office.
Because frankly, in a week, I'm going to come back with the same motion I made today.
I think there are some commitments I think our office should make to you regarding Supervisor Delbar's comments and Supervisor Smith's comments specifically. And I'm trying to keep track of where the flow of things go. I see that we do have some opportunities to revisit specifically conferences, travel, and memberships that we could make a commitment to come back to you and possibly make an adjustment in the quarterly report. I see that we can talk to departments again about some other line items, specifically overtime and extra help. But I think also we do need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's furloughs. And furloughs, mandatory time off, 3 days generate $500,000. And I think we need to receive direction from the board. If the board wants us to pursue that option, the ideal time to do that is in accordance with some holidays coming up and some court-mandated holidays. There are a certain number of days that the courts and the court system in California do not operate. It is less of an impact in county departments such as the DA and the sheriff revolving around prisoner transport and probation. If it's a day when the courts are ordinarily closed for business, if we close on that day, there are some opportunities to have lesser impacts upon the public and other departments. But I think that's an option that we need to pursue. Felt that way for a long time, that we just need specific board direction on these couple of items. We'll go after the money if your board is interested in enhancing beyond the $10,000 that we've given you here. And we can make a commitment, I think, in the WISC up in Willits, and do some of those projects in fairly quick turnaround for you. But I think you have a balanced budget before you at this point in time, and what's missing is some commitments from our office that we're going to supply you with additional cuts and some additional opportunities for you to reduce down this budget.
Supervisor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe that Supervisor Pinches asked for comments from the 3 board members that did not support his proposal, so I was just trying to fulfill that. I think that we need to go further. I think the things the CEO is saying are fine, but I think that, I'm looking for some pretty clear identification of revenue to apply to our debt obligation that I'm not seeing. So I don't have a problem with anything that Supervisor Delbar suggested to take a look at, but I don't know that that's going to be able to be vetted and be in a concrete form to really take us where we need to go with this budget. But I don't have a problem looking at those other things. I think they're fine to look at. I also don't think that taking the $70,000 out for the outside projects is going to get us very far either, because as we know, it's only $70,000, and the board sort of vetted that and explored it, and there was a majority support for those expenditures. So to me, that's the small stuff. I think that we need to delve a little deeper into what are some various options to create, as the CEO said, some more significant dollars. And I just think we need to get there. And I think it could be the combination of things that board members have suggested and other things that the executive office needs to dig deeply into on short order and come up with them. And I would support a variety of options. I think that the only way I would support the land closure funds being diverted, I just think it is a very bad strategy. It's a bad pattern. It's just more of the same, and I don't think we should be doing it. I would support it if at the same time the board passed a franchise fee increase for up to the 12%, which is what the cities are doing. So then I would feel comfortable on a one-time basis that we were doing that because we had more than covered our bases with respect to how we were going to backfill that. So that's something I think that's on the revenue side, and it's something that can be done and put in place rather quickly. So those are the kinds of things I'm looking at. And if we have to look at work furloughs that would coincide with, as the CEO suggested, state holidays or court holidays, then we should take a look at that. I also don't think we should be looking at any furloughs that only are going to address outside revenues, because they don't get us where we need to go. And so I don't think they should be applied to anything but general fund draws, because they don't affect our bottom line. And in fact, we end up losing money when we do that, because we don't draw down state and federal shares that we can get. So those are sort of the summary of mine at this moment.
Supervisor Colfax.
I don't know. I think here that this is just another exercise in futility. I think one of the reasons Supervisor Delbar and I are agreeing for once is because we've had about 10 years, in his case 12 years, of going through budgets where we get very righteous at the end, or try to wrap up, put a bow on the package and so forth, and realize all the things that we've asked to have reviewed and examined for the next round simply don't happen. There's a reason for this. One